Hey, welcome back to the Stash. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the new era of Nightwing comics. Last time we took a look at the end of Tom Taylor's run, and if you've seen that video, then you know that I personally love the finale. But going into this book, I found myself quite nervous, to be honest, especially when I was picking it up at the comic store. There were just so many questions going through my head from, is this going to be another takeover that ruins the character? Are they going to split up Dick and Babs once again? Will the comic have the overall charm and feel a Nightwing story is supposed to have? And much more. But today we'll be sure to answer all those questions, so join us as we go over the premiere of Dan Watter's Nightwing. But before we dive in though, I just want to take a quick moment to say that your support here at the Stash truly does mean the world to me. If you're a fan of Nightwing or just comic content in general, consider sticking around and maybe hitting that subscribe button. But anyway, with all that being said, let's jump right back into the video. Our story begins with a mysterious figure ominously retelling the origin of Dick Grayson, from his parents' tragic death to his days as Robin and then to his rise as Nightwing. Yet something about this tale doesn't seem right to him. It simply won't do, but the show must go on. We then cut to the end of a gang meeting. Within said meeting is Mama Bear and the Teddies, Boss Bludgeon and the Clean Cut crew, Dr. Proboscis and the Flyboys, and lastly the Blockbuster gang. All proposals have been agreed on, and so a new age of crime dawns for Bloodhaven. There's a sense of optimism among these criminals. Everyone can finally move past their open war and begin to make some real money again. But then, from high above, a voice rings out. It's Nightwing ready to take all these gangs to jail. One yells to kill him. Nightwing confidently replies with, "Nah," and then throws his Eskrima stick while leaping down on top of one of the mobsters. He swiftly moves onto the attack, kicking one guard and shoving his weapon into the mouth of the other. Babs checks in, but their conversation is cut short when Dick sees a large bomb ready to explode. The mysterious figure from before lets out a small laugh as the explosion goes off, killing all the mob bosses, yet luckily for our boy Wonder, he managed to survive. The next day, Grayson rushes into the office of his sister, the mayor of Bloodhaven, to inform her about what went down the night before. However, she's got company. Her name is Olivia Pierce, CEO of Sephiric Solutions, a company that makes weapons designed to kill superheroes. Miss Pierce, of course, sees it more as a service that offers peace of mind to the civilians of a fast-changing world. She tells Dick that the Titans moving into Bloodhaven was one of the reasons why she relocated here. That and how promising the Pennyworth Foundation has made the real estate for their workforce. After Miss Pierce leaves, Dick questions his sister's actions for dealing with someone as low as her. Melinda explains it's due to the hundreds of leaderless gangs roaming around the streets of Bloodhaven. Dick then finds schematics for the new weapons meant for upgrading the police force, essentially militarizing the most corrupt cops in the nation. Melinda tells Grayson that the pressure is on her, the election is soon, and with the escalation of violence, she can't do anything to help the city if she loses her mayor spot. Afterwards, Grayson roams the empty city streets, consulting Barbara about his next move. He's planning to take a page out of his sister's book and do something a little drastic, so drastic that everyone might not like it. But it's a call that needed to be made. Ever since the death of the crime bosses, Bloodhaven has fallen victim to an all-out gang war like none other. Nightwing must somehow put an end to this. He finds some of the Flyboys trying to make some construction work very difficult and intervenes. One of them exclaims that it's all in the name of revenge for killing their leader. Nightwing whacks him with his Eskrima stick and makes light work of these goons. He then proposes a deal. He's going to find out who killed their bosses, and until then, he's not going to bust them. But in return, no more turf wars. In case one of the other gangs try to come after them, Nightwing hands one of the Flyboys a device that can contact him as a form of safety. He's confused as to why he'd side with them, but Nightwing ensures them he gave them the same offer as the other three gangs. For Nightwing has had enough of this chaos. Bloodhaven is his town, and tonight, he wants everyone to know that. Dick afterwards heads towards the new building owned by Olivia Pierce. He breaks in and gets a good look at all the weapons they have lying around, but then out of nowhere, a security drone begins blasting away at Nightwing. There's no room for error. He must be perfect with each leap and with each dodge. Suddenly, the mysterious figure from before begins to speak about circus language, and then the relation to the mark on Nightwing's chest. He asks the faithful servant of his cause, "What does a bird in the circus tent mean?" Olivia Pierce sits there with a detonator in her hand, replying with death. And so our story ends with Pierce flipping the switch, leaving the fate of our hero, the protector of Bloodhaven, unknown. Man, like I said before, I was pretty nervous heading into this new era of Nightwing comics, mostly because his track record when it comes to this sort of thing isn't the best. But after reading Dan Watter's premiere issue, I gotta say, this was so good. I cannot stress enough how happy I am about it. I'm pleasantly surprised. You see, Tom Taylor, like I've said many times, brought Nightwing back to the familiar place he so desperately needed, back to the light. But this issue right here brought him right back to that classic 1996 run. That's how good it was to me. It genuinely felt like I was reading something from that volume that defined the character. From the action, to the look of the book, to the flirting between him and Babs, it just all blended in together to make this incredible issue. The previous release, fantastic, an amazing ending to a run I, for the most part, thoroughly enjoyed, and to have this issue directly after that one be this good is so relieving. It's stuff that I could only dream of as a main Spider-Man fan. We would never get this in a modern day Amazing Spider-Man comic, but at least my favorite DC character, besides maybe Superman, Batman, has this. I'm glad that finally he's become like the golden boy of DC Comics, because for a while it was the complete opposite. Dan Dido couldn't stand this character, and it broke my heart seeing the way that they always constantly disrespected the best Robin. I understand we've only just started, but we're getting some real impressive signs early on. I was pretty amazed by the brave choice to kill off some gang leaders, but I feel like they're all easily replaceable, to be quite honest. And I mean, I'm pretty sure this was their first appearance anyway. If anything, it just leaves a hole to be filled, and if the writer is talented enough, I can very well see that happening. I just didn't expect them all to die. They caught me off guard a little bit. But I did notice some similarities between this issue and the Brian Michael Bendis Daredevil run, mostly when it came to Nightwing basically taking over the gangs and, in a sense, being their kingpin, I guess, or the "this is my city" sort of thing. As far as the story goes, we got some great stuff. Granted, it was pretty obvious that Olivia Pierce was up to something a little bit more sinister, considering her line of work, but the overall execution within the entire issue, to me, was satisfying enough. Same goes with this mysterious new foe we see. His presence alone is unmatched. Just by looking at the page, you feel this real sense of power that just commands your attention. So overall, Nightwing issue 119 by Dan Waters is an amazing start to what is hopefully an amazing run. I wasn't quite sure what to expect jumping into this comic, but coming out of it, I feel like I've been rejuvenized. It's the same feeling I got when Tom had started on the book, only slightly more impactful because of the place it's taking off from, all thanks to Tom, of course. This book is a must-read for any fans of the character, but especially those familiar with his best run, the OG run from 1996. I truly believe you'd thoroughly enjoy this issue just like I and many others have. I gotta say, the future is looking pretty bright for the boy Wonder. It's taken us a while to get to this point, and there's major thanks to what came before to get us back here. For the first time in a long time, I'm feeling hopeful going into a new Nightwing run. This comic was a blast to read. I just hope it all continues, because if there's one character that deserves to have a good comic book, it's without a doubt the beacon of hope to those around him. The original and best Robin, Nightwing. Hey everyone, just a quick channel update at the end of the video. If you stayed for this long, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll be doing some more retrospective sort of Spider-Man comic style videos, going more over classic stories and such, because I will be still doing ASM and USM reviews, but there's just so many classic issues that I want to go over, and I thought I might as well make a series of it. I am planning to do the origin of Ultimate Spider-Man sometime soon, but if there's any characters or any classic storylines that you might be interested in seeing, feel free to let me know down below, and I do read all the comments, so I can note some down and see about trying to make some eventually, if I've got time and if it fits in, and yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Be sure to tune in next time, same web time, same web channel. It's been a while since I've said that one, and see you in the next one.